Well, I am so excited to be here with Roberta Wilhelm. She is the executive director of Girls Inc. Roberta, it's so good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for seeing me, for having me today.
Well, it's that time of year. Lunch for the Girls is coming up, and I'm excited to talk to you about that and the speakers that are going to be there this year. But let's just talk a little bit, kind of bring us up to date with what's happening at Girls Inc. right now.
Sure. So we're wrapping up our summer because school starts next week. We'll be taking a few days for training and cleaning, but the girls are kind of having their last burst of fun here before they head into the school year. We've had a sort of normal-ish summer with a lot of girls doing a lot of different STEM, literacy, library, field trips, you name it. It's been busy.
Yeah, and it's probably for their girls themselves, just excited, just good for them to be back just together and doing things.
Oh, yeah. I think the isolation really weighed heavy on girls, on youth in general, on people, but certainly on young people. And we see the results of that in some of the programming now is to help mitigate what happened during the depths of the COVID isolation.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, I got a question here with my talking point. So how do you know that Girls Inc. works?
Well, there are many different ways, but one way is that we use both data and also just things we observe with our own eyes. So our national office, we're really fortunate that they do longitudinal studies that shows Girls Inc. makes an impact on girls' confidence in science, in math, in reading, in their reducing risky behavior. So they're less likely to have unprotected sex or to drive without a seatbelt, those sorts of things. So across a whole multitude of domains, girls who experience the Girls Inc. programming do better than those who do not, which is a great thing to know. But then our own eyes tell us. I've been at Girls Inc. 19 years. The girls who are in kindergarten are in grad school or have careers. And watching them graduate and tell you, I'm now a vet tech, I'm now a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a pharmacist, I'm a special ed teacher. There's no better outcome than that. And my own eyes and my own heart tell me that, this is the kind of result you would want for your own children. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, like I had mentioned, Lunch for the Girls is coming up here on September 1st. And you've got a couple, a pair, a sibling duo that is going to be talking about just their life, a book. I actually was doing some research. I want to read this book. It's called Crazy Stories About Racism. And it's kind of a look at what's happened. I think there's definitely humor in the book about all the crazy things that people do. But let's just talk about these two young ladies, Lacey Lamarr and Amber Ruffin, which I think people may know her. So let's talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, sure. So the book focuses on the crazy things that happened to Lacey, but there's dialogue back and forth in the book, especially like if you get the audiobook, you hear the real sisters going back.
Okay.
So I encourage you to do that. It's funny. And Amber, of course, has her own TV show. She's been a writer for late night comedy. She's a comedian in her own right. And so she has, of course, a humorous view of what is also a serious subject. So it is not to downplay that these are stories about racism. Yes, it's better to laugh than cry, but they do want to share the message of these things that help people learn that these behaviors and actions, these things that people say are inappropriate. Some people who read the book may have said or done those things themselves, and they can learn a bit about why that's not a thing that is acceptable to do. And also just to have their awareness raised that even if it's not in the book, there might be something else. Some of these things are on a spectrum of behaviors and comments that are considered racist.
Yes, absolutely. So they're going to be here for the luncheon on September 1st. Let's just talk about the luncheon. I mean, what year is this for starters?
Gosh, you're asking me that question. I'm not even sure. I think I've been here 19 years and it's been going longer than
Okay.
that. So I think it's like year 23 or something.
Yes. Yeah.
And over the years, we've had such powerhouses as the Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Michelle Obama, Malala, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Billie Jean King, the Bush twins. I mean, it's been a lineup of amazing speakers.
Yes. And one of the reasons, I mean, let's talk about this luncheon that happens each year. It brings the community together. Again, you have these amazing speakers. Kind of what is the overlying purpose? I mean, we're raising education, awareness, funds for Girls Inc.
All of those things. So it's a great fundraiser. I have to say, every year we get folks who say, I want to be a mentor, I want to volunteer, donors, supporters, spreading the message. The girls speak at the luncheon themselves, and there is no better way to tell the story than to let the girls speak on their own behalf. So to hear them talk about their experiences in Eureka or the Bee Club or a book club is really powerful stuff. And that's when folks in the audience can see that it works. I don't even need to tell them, and become hopefully supporters of Girls Inc. for the long haul.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit. So the funds raised, I mean, we hear the girls. I mean, this, again, I've been to this luncheon many times. It's so powerful, but the funds raised, what are some of the programs? I mean, kind of what's I don't want to say the hot thing now, but I mean, what's the important piece here?
It's hard to pick one important piece because it's whatever triggers an individual girl to her curiosity and her path towards wanting to know more and do more and maybe explore more in a career. So for some girls, that is STEM. We just interviewed a bunch of graduating seniors yesterday, and a lot of them were interested in STEM careers, in being a veterinarian, being an architect, being a nurse practitioner. They are interested in pursuing that. And so they were very interested that Girls Inc. offered those opportunities and experiences. We offer externships in real businesses where girls can see what a job looks like and maybe decide, is that for them? And sometimes they decide it's not. They think they want to be a vet, and then they say, I can't stand the sight of blood, and I had to comfort dogs coming out of anesthesia instead of be in the operating room. And that's okay too. For other girls, it's art. Other girls, it's sports. One of the girls yesterday was talking about how she's going to college on a sport scholarship. So she's running track, doing hurdles, which you can't even imagine how hard that sounds. But they have different interests. Some of the girls like gardening or chicken coop or beehives. Other girls are interested in the education kitchen and may consider a career in culinary and look at Metro for their culinary program. So it's hard to pick one. It's whatever sparks that one girl.
Yeah. And that spark makes sometimes all the difference in the world.
Oh, it does.
And it's just, it's amazing. Well, let's go back. Well, have the girls read the book? The girls that are coming?
They are reading the book. They're in the process now, which is really exciting to me. I've seen a couple of them around individually with it, and I know that there's a group of them working on it sort of as a book club. But I love when they are prepared for the guest speakers. So, and they traditionally are. They'll read books by or about Malala or Desmond Tutu. In fact, the year Desmond Tutu was coming, they said, we had President Clinton last year, and this year we have a nobody. And why would we have a nobody? I was like, okay, let's do some reading. Yeah, let's find out. It's not a nobody, but it's cool to see them dig into that book.
Yeah. Well, talking a little bit more about the event, again, it is on September 1st. It's a Thursday. How can people buy tickets? Are there still sponsorships? Give us kind of the lowdown on those who want to attend the event.
Sure. So the easiest way, I think, is to access the information through our website, which is girlsinkomaha.org. And there's an event page, and You can learn some of the details both about individual tickets, tables, sponsorships right there. If that doesn't work, give us a call, and especially ask for Miss Shannon, because she knows all things
Mhm.
luncheon and will help you.
Awesome. That's so wonderful. Um, let's talk a little bit before I let you go. We've got about a minute or so. You know, we have talked about the girls and you know what works, you know, how you can see things are working. What are some other things? I mean, again, this is like the almost the foundation piece that a lot of them get to go out and do make their, you know, dreams or get to go into the world on the
Yeah.
journey of life and be able to be so much more better prepared for it.
So one of the things that I love is when young women will post on social media when they graduate. One of them did recently, who became a vet tech, and she said, "I want to thank my parents and I want to thank Girls Inc." And
Uh,
you're listed right in there as part of that village.
yeah.
We feel it, but here she's acknowledging it and recognizing it. And sometimes I think it's hard to see that as a young person, but they do. And they'll say, you know, Girls Inc. was there for me with a tutor or with help with scholarship funding, or with, if they're in sports and college equipment and uniforms, whatever it might be, we want them to come to us, and they do. And I think it's really great when they do those shout outs. We for sure see that they see us as that role in their life as well.
Absolutely. Well, Roberta, thank you so much for joining me today. Again, this is always an exciting event, and you do have spectacular speakers every year, because it's kind of different times during the year. A lot of times it depends
Yep.
when the speaker can actually, you know, be in Omaha. So so this year it's September 1st. So encourage everybody to get your tickets, because there's a lot of people. I mean, there's like over 1,000 people that typically come.
Well, it depends on the year. The events have ranged from 800 to 3,000, depending
Oh
on
my
the
goodness.
speaker.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And also COVID, you know, maybe we don't pack the room as much.
No, absolutely,
No.
absolutely. But excited for this event. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Well, thanks for having me.
And folks, we'll be right back.